Hey guys, this is Eric from FinalCutStudiosCool.com, and we're here with a pretty advanced shake tutorial. I assume prior knowledge if you're all going to try something like this. I'm going to breeze through it as fast as I can, but I expect you all to take your time with something like this if you attempt something of this caliber. So this is what we're going to be working on. We're going to replace the sky and the water and maybe add some fog, and we're going to do all kinds of stuff to this. So let's get started. Don't want to diddle-dally too much because it's going to take long enough as it is. So first thing I want to do is add a saturation node to my clean plate. So we'll go to color. Everybody's favorite non-concatenating node, saturation. And we can talk about concatenation later. And I want to bring the value of that down towards a little bit gray, about right there. Then I'm going to go to layer, and I'm going to add a switch map. Now I like to use a switch mat instead of these little mask input because I like to see everything I'm doing, and I just like a switch mat node because it works with pre-multiplication and stuff, and I don't want to get into it here, but these are very, very relevant nodes, and you'll end up using a lot of them. So now I want to make a roto shape, and I want to roto out my sky. So I want to go to image, roto shape. I want to work in context here. Just load my clean plate. I'm going to zoom in a little bit and go to town with my roto shape. I'm going to do this real fast, start laying in some points. You'll want to take a lot more time than this. That. Now you can see we've laid in some basic points. Let me refresh my node by hitting the R key. And when I bring my roto shape into my switch mat, you can see what happens. It takes out my sky. Now I've got a pre-made roto shape right here that as you can see, it's looks a little bit better. I took a little bit more care with it. So I'm going to use this pre-made one I've got, pop it in, and just get rid of this one. Okay, here's what we got so far. We have us an iceberg scene with no sky. So now we're going to, I guess, work on our ocean a little bit. So let's do the same thing with our ocean. I'm going to load my ocean in. I'm going to add a contrast luma. Go to color, contrast luma. I'm going to darken it up a little bit like this. Make it look a little more gloomy because we're going to have a gloomy scene. And then I'm going to add a color correction. Go to my color tab. Click. Now you can always, let me see, color correction first. Now you can always, like I said, you can select your nodes from here like this, but I like to keep mine shut and just right click on the tab so I can have a bigger viewing area. So now we have our color correction. I'm going to go down to my add parameters and open them up. And I'm going to bring down the blue a little bit, bring out some green, like that right there. That's looking pretty good. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to make us a roto shape. So let me move my nodes over here. I'm going to load in my clean plate, and I'm going to select image, roto shape, and I'm going to work in context with my clean plate, and I'm going to go in and mask out this water. I'm going to do this real fast. I'm going to go through here and mark out and mask out my water. Now I'm just showing you how I would go about doing this. I have another one pre-made that I'm going to use instead of this one. Okay, now that I have my roto shape, I'll refresh it. I'm going to go to select my color correct node, go to layer, switch mat, and pop your roto shape into your switch mat, and now you see you have this cutout So let me go up here and grab the roto shape that I had pre-made, which is a little bit better condition. Pop it in. Okay, now we have our sky masked out and we have our water masked out. So the first thing I'm wanting to do is add an over node. So I'm going to select this switch mat, go to the layer, and find the over, and I want to pop this clean plate of my iceberg into the over of my water. And now you can see we kind of have a little bitty composite going on. So now what we need to do is we need to add our clouds. We definitely don't want to forget about our clouds. So let's go find my clouds here. Here they are. Add another over node to this over node. I'm going to layer over. And I'm going to pop my clouds in. And now we have a very simple, basic, primitive composite. We need to go in and we need to adjust a whole lot, but we're going to get there. We're going to get there. First, we need to adjust our clouds. So I'm going to go into my transform and add a move 2D. And I'm going to scale it up. So, and then from my move 2D node, I'm going to add an over node, layer, over. Again, I'm going to go to image and select just a regular old color node. Go into there. I'm going to select some kind of blue that I can work with a little bit, like maybe right there. Looks good. And I'm going to pop this into my over right here that I just branched off my new 2D. As you see, here's what we got. And when we go back to our final composite, we have this. I can select my move 2D. Actually, I think I could move it down and scale it up a little bit. Like so, because you can scale clouds tremendously and not really mess anything up. So now we have this rough composite, and there's still a few more things we want to do to it, but I hope you can see where we're going with it. Let me look at my node tree here, see what we got going on. Okay, well now what we're going to have to do is, let me adjust my nodes here and things situated. We're going to want to add a reflection. We're going to need a reflection of the clouds in the water, and also we need a reflection of our iceberg in the water. So let me see what we got going on here. Look at my switch mat. What I'm going to do is I'm going to branch another switch mat off of my saturation node. So I'm going to select my saturation node, go to my layer, and I'm going to hold the shift key and select switch mat, and this will branch another switch mat off. So now I need to duplicate this roto shape. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click, edit, copy. Then I'm going to right click again, edit, copy, pasted link. Paste linked. Now what this will do is, this will show this little triangle. Whatever you do to this one here will also affect this one down here in the link chain. So if you see this pink link here, whatever you do to your main one will also be done to the other ones. But if I go in and change this one, it will not affect your original one. So if you got a bunch of them connected to your original one, you want to change them all at once, this is why you can do this. So I'm going to use this roto shape here to make my reflection. So I'm going to select it, and as you can see, there's my points. I'm going to bring this up here like this. Bring these points in. And I'm going to go through and start shift clicking and adding some points. There's a point. 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 Just add a few points along here. Okay. Now let me bring these points up. Along the bottom of my iceberg. Now I'm expecting you all to take more care with this than I am, naturally. This is YouTube, and we just ain't got quite the time that you have at home or on the job or wherever you may be at the moment working on your composition. And hold the control key to adjust one side at a time. Let's bring these points up here. Like that. Bring this up. This down. Okay, good enough for YouTube. Okay, now we have just our icebergs mapped off there, photoed out. I'm going to bring that pasted link down to this new switch map. Now, as you can see, what happens here. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a flip node. So I'm going to transform, flip. Now, this is what we're going to use for our reflection. So between these two over nodes, I'm going to add a multi-layer. So I'm going to layer, multi-layer, and I'm going to pop this flip right into this multi-layer. Look and see what we got here. As you can see, this is what we got. Select my flip, go to transform, and I'm going to add a move 2D. I'm going to move it down here like this. Perfect. I'm going to go to my multi-layer parameters, select whatever layer. I'm layer 2 here. I'm going to open up layer 2, and I'm going to bring down the opacity like this. Yeah, okay, now let's look at our whole comp. And here's what we got so far. Now we need to add a reflection of our clouds. So let me find our clouds here. Here's our clouds. We got our move 2D and we got our over. So I'm going to want to branch a flip off of this over. So I'm going to go to transform, shift click, flip. This will branch that off like it's so, as you can see. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it into my multi-layer and see what happens. This into my multi-layer. Go to the multi-layer parameters. Open it up. I'm going to bring down the opacity like so. Let's look at our final composite here. Now we can see our clouds in our water. That looks pretty good there, I guess, for as quick as we're doing things. Okay, what is left? We need to add let's add us some fog. Want to? So let's go to image, roto shape. Let's look at our final composite, working context. Let's just build a quick shape like this. Like that. I'm going to pop this shape right here into my multi-layer. Like so. And I'm going to go to my color, or no, I'm going to my filter tab and add a blur. I'm going to put the blur on, about 400. Yeah, that gives us a nice fog layer. What else could we do? Maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea to add a warper node. I'd like to go in here and add a warper node to this where these two things meet. And just to show you guys how the warper node works, and I could probably warp this pretty good and make it look a lot better. Let's see what I got going on here. I got my multi-layer over, or just got my two switch mats. Now this can get kind of confusing, guys. As you can see, before too long, you look like a professional before you know it. with all these nodes going everywhere. So what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to bring my warper node. I'll bring it out of my clean plate, saturation switch mat, comes down into an over. What's in there? Okay, I guess I could add it to right here. Let's see, this comes out right here. Yeah, I would add it to this move 2D here. So let's go in here and transform. That would be under warp, I'm sorry, warper. So now I'm going to go in here and add a line up through here like this. I'm going to right click, finish shape. And I'm going to go back down here, add another shape. I'm going to make it right underneath this one, like so. Right click, finish shape. Then I'm going to click my link shape button and click the first one. Then I'm going to click the second one and it links them. And I'm going to go to my tool button, and this will allow me to start adjusting my warp. Let's see here. Yeah, that looks a lot better. It kind of needed that, I think. Let me zoom in here so you can see what's going on. Let's try this shape here. Yeah, you can see my reflection warping, and what I'm going to do is try to get it as close as I can, like right through here. I want it all to touch, like it's doing. This looks pretty good. I might want to bring this up some. See that? Okay. F to frame it. And we're looking pretty good. Let's zoom out. I guess I could add another over. Let's go to layer, over, and let's go to image, rain. I'm going to add some rain. As a matter of fact, I'm going to replace that over with a multi-layer. I'm going to pop my rain into the multi-layer. Like so. Now I need to turn my image opacity down on my rain. So I'm going to go into my multi-layer, open it up, turn it down so it won't be so heavy. Okay, now we have a finished scene. All I got to do is right click on flipbook. I want to use proxy 1 and render. Now see, as you can see, we have a problem here with our mask. We need to go in and draw another mask, and that's not a problem. So we're going to go in here. It looks like we need to do it on our flip node, so it's right through here. So I'm going to load this in. This is where we're going to put our mask, right here. So move to D. So I'm going to go in, go back to my final composite, go to layer, or I'm sorry, image, roto shape, right here. Let me load my node back in so I can see what's going on. I need to zoom out. Now I'm going to start making a shape right along here like this. Right along the top of your mountains now. Like again, I said I expect you to do better than me. I'm just trying to get this through, you know, so not take up too much time on YouTube. I'm bring it up here. Like that. Now we have our roto shape. Let me pop it into the side of our mask on our flip node. Like so. Let me bring this down. I think I might have done it backwards. But we'll find out when we render it, won't we? Okay. Render. There we go. I just had it in the wrong flip node. Sorry about that, guys. Let me render a flipbook out for you. B2 render. And then we play it. As you can see, not too bad if I do say so myself. Not when we started. Let me shrink this down here. Not when we started with this right here. You start with this, you end up with this. That's pretty good work, I think, if you can do it in just a few minutes time we've done here on YouTube. The problem a while ago was, let me go in here and show this to you guys so you won't get confused. I was plugging it into this flip node, which controls the sky, and I was needing to plug it in to this flip node, which controls the mat of my clean plate. And that's what I needed to do. So here's the one we rendered out with the rain, as you can see. This one's dramatically different. I get a kind of a different result each time I do this. So actually, I don't know. Let me look here. Which one do you guys like better? The rain with the rain, or without the rain? I think I like the rain. Well, this is CMIvfx from Final Cut Studio School. Let me show you one last time the whole node tree. And there we go. Pretty complicated little tree, but not too bad. If you have any questions, you know how to get a hold of me. I'm always around, and I'll try to answer you as soon as I can. And I really hope you've learned something or picked something up from this anyways. And if you have any questions, get a hold of me, guys. And till then, we'll see you next time.